I always have to adjust the camera because it's a different angle for the preview and from when I actually start it. All right, guys. The game will be starting in about 2 minutes. Need the intro music, which I will be changing and making a little bit quieter. Actually, I'm going to make it a little bit quieter right now. Sorry. Always developing. Trial and error on the stream. Trial and error on the stream. Hey, I saw that we had 4 people waiting. We already have 6 people in. I am so glad to see that you guys like the game. All right. Make sure we're all set up here and everything's good to go. Welcome, welcome. Hey, guys and gals. Hey, friends. What do we got? We got Luke the Duke, who's in the Hall of Champions. How you guys doing? I'm doing good. Good, dude. How you doing? I'm a little tired, but we're gonna go ahead and play another one. I also like that you're just waiting for it to start. That's cool. Hey, we've got Luke too. Alright, guys, we'll be starting in about a minute. Alright, guys. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. Good to see you guys back. Good to see you guys back. Hey, somebody let me know if you guys can hear me. Actually, I think nope, you guys can. I can just test it right here. Alright. You guys know how this works. We're doing another game night where everybody who gets the correct answer for whatever we're playing gets a point on the scoreboard. Whoever gets the most points and is not already in the Hall of Champions by the end of the round will enter the Hall of Champions. Or at the end of the 2-hour stream. Somebody who enters the Hall of Champions every single time. Bronny, we're just getting started. Congratulations to Bronny, who is the most recent person to enter the, Hall of Champions. So now, if you're already in the Hall of Champions, you're either competing for the high score of the stream, which is currently at 49 by Javier Goat God, or you're just having fun. And anybody can come and just have fun. You don't have to compete. I will be keeping score. You don't have to compete. You can just come and have fun. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, guys, we're going to kick it off with balloon art. Always a good way to start the channel. Kick it off with balloon art. First person to correctly guess what I am making. Yeah, let's have some fun, guys. First person to correctly guess what I'm making will get a point on the scoreboard. It's not a sword. No one beat Javier yet. No one beat. It is a dog. That would be correct. All right, Luke, let me go ahead and add your name to the scoreboard. And I think we're going to move right on to, I think we're going to do one more balloon, and then we're going to move right to blurt. Luke. Oh, firework for the sub. Let me make sure that Luke was the first person to say dog on my screen. It was Luke. Welcome to the scoreboard, Luke. I know you've been here several times, so you're already in the Hall of Fame. All right, we're going to do one more balloon, guys, and then we're going to move on to blurt, because I know there's a fan favorite, and we have many, many fans in here. What's my favorite thing to make? Probably the motorcycle. Welcome, Brian Garber. My favorite thing to make is the motorcycle because of how realistic it looks. We're going to go ahead and make one more balloon, and we're going to move on to blurt since we have plenty of people already in here. Would you like to see it? If you stick around enough, you will see it. I do make it. You will probably see it tonight. However, Brian, it is not a sword. This stream is a game show where many people compete for the top spot. Many people compete for the top spot in in the Hall of Champions, so I do have to be careful with requests that disrupt the flow of the game. You will see it, though. It is actually, somebody did get it early on. It is a ray gun. It is a ray gun. It's not a motorcycle. It is a ray gun. Who said ray gun or gun would be the correct? Brian Garvey, stick around. You will see it. Who said a gun? It would be Luke the Duke. Who? Let me go ahead and add Luke the Duke. All right, 1 point for Luke the Duke. Luke, you're currently in the lead. The first Luke is currently in the lead. We're going to do one more balloon, guys. We're going to just do one more balloon, then we're going to get on to blurt. One more balloon, we're going to get on to blurt. We currently have 2 people on the scoreboard. We currently have 2 people on the scoreboard. The first person, hey, Emma, welcome back. The first person to correctly guess what I am making will get a point on the scoreboard. Whoever gets the most points on the board in one stream will get a spot on the Hall of Fame. All right. Bronny got it. It is a bike. He already recognized it, and he figured that I would be probably making it for the person who requested it. It is a motorcycle. I don't know if you're still here, Garber, but I am actually going to make the motorcycle, and since you requested it, I'm going to go ahead and finish it. You can see it. That was a good guess. And then we're going to move on to Blurt, which is a fan favorite. Ronnie, I hope you're still here. Hey, Maddie, welcome back. Welcome back. If you're the same Maddie from the other day, that is, welcome back. If you're a new Maddie, welcome to the show. Hey, Brian Garber, there you are. I feel like that's fair. Well, you know what? We have some regulars on here, but that's okay. Sometimes when you guys request something, I'll just make it right away. Sometimes I won't. I do try to keep it fair because people are competing. Oh, well, it did look realistic, but I accidentally didn't twist it enough when I did the pop. So the handle's popped. You'll have to see it again. Let me see who the first person is, and we're going to move on to Blurt, which is a fan favorite. All right, it looks like Bronny got the point. I don't know who subbed, but I forgot to give you your fireworks. Sorry. Always like to give the fireworks out. Bronny got 1 point. Bronny, congratulations, by the way, for being the person to win the previous stream and enter the Hall of Champions. Guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to, hey, Maddie, welcome back. I love your video. Awesome. You're going to sub for that. Awesome. Well, just so you guys know, this is a game show where I host them and you guys play. Whoever gets the highest score on the scoreboard who's not already on the Hall of Champions will enter. Bronny was the previous person to win. All right, we're going to play Blurt. Blurt is where I give you guys the definition for 2 words in the Webster Dictionary. And the first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players this round. Now, you can either answer either, you can answer both, but only 1 answer per comment is allowed. Only 1 answer per comment is allowed. We're going to go ahead and read the first definition. A thin, flat, green part that grows from the stem of a plant. The second definition. A group of people or animals acting together. Go ahead and start guessing. Leaf is correct. To Bronny. And nobody has a second word yet. I'll reread it. A group of people or animals acting together. It is not herd. Yep. Yin Brown, welcome. It's not community. It is not group. It is not stock. First person to correctly guess the word for this definition will get a point on the scoreboard. I'm going to put 10 seconds on the clock so we can continue on with the game. A group of people or animals acting together. This is the dictionary definition. And I'm going to end the time. If nobody gets it before I type it, it was banned. It was banned. All right, nobody's going to get the point for banned. We're going to move on and play another round of Blurt. We're going to move on and play another round of Blurt. All right, for Blurt, I'm going to read the definition for 2 words. And the first person to tell me the word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. And guys, just so you know, if it's your first time getting a point on the scoreboard, your name will be added to the Hall of Fame, where once you enter, you never leave. Back to Blurt. The first definition, 1 1,000 million. The second definition. A small wooden hammer used by a person in charge of an assembly to signal for order or attention. Billion is correct. A small wooden hammer used by a person in charge of an assembly to signal for order or attention. Fun fact, it is gavel. I actually have the sound even on my soundboard. There was gavel. That's a fun one. All right, guys, the first person to say billion on my screen. Give me 1 second. I messed up my chat a little bit. Sorry. Give me 1 second, guys. First one to say billion on my screen was Bronny, 1.4 Bronny. And the first person on my screen to say gavel, which gavel is on my soundboard, which is kind of fun. Baronator. Let me go ahead and add Baronator to the scoreboard. Baronator, welcome to the scoreboard. And I know you four are already on the Hall of Fame. Right now we have Luke, Christian, and Baronator tied for entering the Hall of Champions since Luke, Duke, and Bronny are already in it. We're going to go ahead and play another round. Hey, Garrett Barlow, welcome back. Welcome back, Garrett Barlow. Typos are okay, guys. I still accept typos as long as they're close enough. All right, we're going to play another round of Blurt where I will read the definition for 2 words, and the first person to give me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition: a curved fruit with sweet, soft flesh and a yellow peel. The second definition: a ball with a map of the world on it. Banana is correct. Hey, Emma, welcome back. Globe is correct. I see on my screen, Baronator said glove first. I see that as a typo, so I will give the point to Baronator. Remember, guys, I can always pull up my chat. And, banana. Who said banana first? Luke Christian. Good job. Baronator and Luke Christian, you guys are both tied for first right now for the Hall of Champions. All right, guys, we're going to play another round of Blurt. Actually, did I read both sides of this? I did. Just so you guys know, Blurt has a red side. Let me show you. Blurt has a red side, and it has a red side. The red side are harder words. I switch back and forth. I read both. I'll read 2 blues, and then I'll read 2 reds, just so you guys know. So it gets a little harder every other round. All right, continuing on. We're going to play Blurt, where I will give you the definition for 2 words, and the first person to tell me the word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition: the least valuable piece in the game of chess. The second definition: a light fixture that hangs from the ceiling and has several branches for holding lights. Pawn is correct. Chandelier is correct. First person to say chandelier. Well, hold on, let me do pawn first. First person to say pawn was Brian Garber. And I think, Brian, you were also the first person to say chandelier. All right. Good stuff. All right, Brian, let me go ahead and add you to the scoreboard. Welcome to the scoreboard, Brian Garber. And Brian, it looks like this is your, well, first of all, I got to make these up sure there's all the same color on here so I don't ruin my marker. Brian, it looks like this is your first time earning a point on this show, which means after this stream, I will be adding your name to the Hall of Fame. Congratulations. And once you guys enter, you never leave. Currently, Brian Garber, Baronator, and Luke Christian are all tied for entering the Hall of Champions tonight. What an exciting way to start off the stream. We already have a close call. We already have good competition right off the bat. We're going to continue. We're going to play another round of Blurt. It is an amazing start. We're going to play another round of Blurt. I'm going to give you guys the definition for 2 words, and the first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition: a school attended after high school. I misread. A school attended after high school. The second definition: a platform extending into the water where ships may tie up to load and unload. College is correct. Doc is correct. First person on my screen to say college would be Luke Duke. First person on my screen to say Doc would also be Luke Duke. Now, I'll have you guys know, Luke to Duke is already in the Hall of Champions as of very recently. So he is just competing to try to be the high score of the stream. One person will enter the Hall of Champions every single stream. The streams are 2 hours long with a 5-minute break halfway in between, just so you guys know for timing. We're going to play another round of blurt where I will give you the definition for 2 words. And the first person to tell me the correct word of either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, an alcoholic drink made from malt and hops. The second definition, a fine piece of fabric worn over the head and shoulders. Oh, Garrett, you're saying bye. I hope you come back another time if you're leaving. It is not a scarf. Beer is correct. You missed the second. A fine piece of fabric worn over the head and shoulders. Veil is correct. The first person on my screen who said beer would be Brawny. Oh, I'm sorry. That is Brian. I have to give the point to the right person. There's a lot of B's. B's and a couple of Lukes. First person who said veil was Javier. Let me go ahead and add Javier to the scoreboard. Javier, welcome to the scoreboard. Javier currently holds the record for the highest amount of points earned in one stream. 49 points, as you can see below. We are going to continue on with another round of blurt. Hey, Pimp Chick. This is a game show where I host the games, you guys play the games. I do keep score. Somebody who wins, whoever gets the most points in one stream who's not already in the Hall of Champions will be added to the Hall of Champions. One person will be added every single stream. We're going to go ahead and play another round of blurt. Blurt is where I will give you guys the definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the word for either definition will get a point. Up to 2 points can be handed out. The first definition, a very large Asian wild cat that has light brown fur with black stripes. The second definition, an imaginary line around the middle of the earth at an equal distance from the North and South Poles. Tiger is correct. 1 point to Luke Christian. Actually, equator is correct too, and I do believe that is 2 points to Luke Christian. All right, it does officially look like, Luke, you overtook first place and you're on your way. You're in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions, but of course we're very early in on the stream, as we've seen before. That can change who actually gets it. All right. We're going to play another round of blurt, where I will give you guys the definition for 2 words, and the first person to correctly tell me the word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, someone who lacks courage or is easily frightened. The second definition, a land animal that is like a snail but has no shell. Coward is correct. And the second definition, a land animal that is like a snail but has no shell. Slug is correct. What time does the stream start? Hello, Robert. This is actually my 3rd one today, and I am still figuring out this is a developing stream. So I try to stream every single day. Some few days out of the week, I will stream multiple times a day. Luke, you're getting the point for coward. And let me see who said slug first. Who said slug? Luke to Duke. Point for Luke to Duke for slug. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and continue and play another round of blurt. We do take a 5-minute intermission, a 5-minute break halfway through the stream. The streams are always 2 hours long. I decided to limit it to 2 hours so that way everybody knows how long to compete for if they're going for the titleship. All right, guys. Blurt is where I give you the definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition gets a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, an often rounded elevation of Earth that is not as high as a mountain. The second definition, a musical instrument consisting of a triangular frame with strings that are plucked with the fingers. Hill is correct. That point goes to Brian Garber on my screen. Brian Garber said first, and we use my screen as a tiebreaker. I can always show you guys my screen as well for discrepancies. Harp is correct. Emma, looks like you were getting the point for harp. I have to add Emma to the scoreboard. Emma, welcome to the scoreboard. And Emma, I do remember you from the last stream. Of course, I had typed your name into the Hall of Fame. You are in the Hall of Fame. I do have a document with everybody who's ever entered the Hall of Fame. And the numbers down here were right around 90 people so far. 90 people are, right around 90 people are in the Hall of Fame. I think only 14 in the Hall of Champions. Continuing on. We're gonna play another round of blurt where I will give you guys the definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points, can't be handed out. Hey, Brian Garber, I'm glad you like this. I'm really glad you like this. All right, the first definition: a large insect with 2 pairs of wings and long hind legs used for jumping. The second definition: the direction in which the sun is seen setting in the evening. It is not a mantis. It is a grasshopper. Grasshopper is the correct word. It is not sunset. I will reread that. The direction in which the sun is seen setting in the evening. It is not sunset. It is not golden hour. The direction in which the sun is seen setting in the evening. It is west. It is west. West is correct. All right. Let me see who on my screen said grasshopper first. That would be Luke DeDuke. Congratulations, Luke DeDuke. And who said west first? I probably would have said sunset too. Luke DeDuke again. Luke DeDuke again. All right, guys. We're going to continue on to another round of blurt. Yo, did I miss something? Hey, Cyborg King. We're going to play one more round of blurt. If I miss something, please let me know in the chat, and I will check. We're going to play another round of blurt where I will read the definition for 2 words in the Webster's Dictionary. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition: a place where people who are sick or hurt are cared for. The second definition: the natural rest that people and animals take at regular times. Hospital is correct. Sleep is correct. Guys, that was a close one. First person on my screen who said hospital was Luke DeDuke. We do use my screen as a tiebreaker, and I can pull it up and also verify. I know the internet can be tricky. Luke DeDuke. It can be tricky because of latency and how far you guys are away from me, and so that's why we have to use my screen to make sure that. All right, glad you have fun. We're going to go ahead and read the next round of blurt. Blurt is where I will read the definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition: a portable cot for carrying someone who is hurt or ill. I think you did get them both. The second definition: a sudden catching of the breath in the throat. Yes, I do believe Luke DeDuke did get them both. Stretcher is correct. It is not cough. A sudden catching of the breath in the throat. I did not know that this was the definition for this word. I love this game. I'm learning a lot. It is not cold. A sudden catching of the breath in the throat. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I would have never in a million years guessed that this was the definition for this word. This is one thing I love about this. It's not wheeze, it's not gasp. Would it be too much to keep up your chat? It would be, unfortunately. And it's also, I have to be very careful if somebody says something very inappropriate and then it's broadcasted. I don't want to get in trouble for that because this is going to be going live. I have to follow the community guidelines for YouTube. But I can always pull it up and verify. And just for the safety of the channel, I don't have it live for that reason. But I can always verify. Guys, nobody has it yet. I'm going to go ahead and go back and see who said stretcher first. Give the point out, which it looks like it was Luke to Duke again. And I'm going to start the timer. I'm going to read it one more time and start the timer. I do not see it. Ronnie, you can keep challenging it. It's okay. You will. I'm going to start the timer. A sudden catching of the breath in the throat. I don't think anyone's going to get this, but once I put it in the chat, poll is done. It was hiccup. It was hiccup. That point goes to nobody. I believe that point goes to nobody. I'm going to double check real quick. I like to be as fair as I can. It was hiccup. All right, guys, we're going to play another. I know, I would have not have guessed either, guys. I would have not have guessed. It was a tricky one. It was a tricky one. All right, guys, we're going to play another round of Blurt, where I give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words. And the first person to give me the correct word for either definition gets a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out. The first definition: a chain or strap used to hold or lead an animal. The second definition: a mark or design on the skin made by pricking the skin with needles that have dye or colors on the points. Leash is correct. The second definition was tattoo. I accidentally revealed the answers to the next card, so I'm going to go ahead and shuffle them, so that way we are playing fair. Oh my god, I just did it again. Let me make sure that... Oh my god. That is a tricky one, because they are double-sided. They are double-sided. That is a tricky one, and I try to play fair. All right, continuing on. Leash and tattoo. Who is the first person on my screen to say leash? On my screen, it was Brian Garber. And the first person to say tattoo was Bronny Lee. You guys may challenge the chat on who has said first as many times as you like until you trust me. I've been making games for several years, and I really, really, really try to be fair. That's one thing I like about games, and there are rules, and you've got to follow them, and I do try my hardest to make this fair. So you're allowed to challenge the answer anytime, and I will pull it up and show you. We're going to move on to another round of Blurt. Cool. We're going to move on to another round of Blurt. This is where I will give you the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition: a shiny, white, metallic chemical element that is used to make money and jewelry. The second definition: to show respect in a formal manner, such as by raising the right hand to the forehead. Silver is correct. Thank you guys for the trust. It has been built over this stream. First person on my screen to say silver was Baronator. All right, Baronator. All right, guys, I'm going to be a little bit slower this stream compared to other ones because I'm very tired, but we're going to continue going because I love playing. And, let me not say it. Salute is correct. I almost said it without even saying if any of you guys had said it first. Another point to Brawny. All right, guys, we are going to do a very quick Guess That Balloon. We're going to do a very quick Guess That Balloon. The first person to correctly tell me what I am making will get a point on the scoreboard. Maybe 1 a.m., but you're not tired. Good, time to play. Not a sword, not a sword. It is not a butterfly. I gotta get that light out of my face. Oh, I actually made that. I messed it up for a second. Not a swan, not a snake, not a cat, not a dog. Aha! It is. It is a gun, would be correct. It is a gun. Continuing on, gun was the correct answer. Let me go ahead and go back and see who was the first person to correctly say gun. Traveling Patty, welcome back to the stream. First person who said gun would be Luke to Duke. 1.4. Luke to Duke. Luke to Duke, you're currently at 10 points. Looks like Luke Christian is in the lead with 5 points for joining the Hall of Champions. Oh, Brian. Brian, if you have to go to sleep, I do try to stream every day, so there will be many more streams and many more opportunities to join the Hall of Champions. I will have you guys know, as every day passes, many more people are joining and competing for the Hall of Champions, and it is going to get harder and harder to get your name in the Hall of Champions. So the earlier you join this stream and try, the better your odds, because one day it's going to be very hard. We're going to go ahead and continue on. We're going to do one more round of Guess That Balloon, and then we're going to go ahead and go to the next game. I'm glad you guys are having fun. I'm glad you guys are having fun. First person to correctly tell me what I have made will get a point on the scoreboard. My chat is not caught up as a swan. There we go. All right, let me see on my screen who was the first person to say swan. Just so you guys know, I'm scrolling up to when I said gun, and then I'm scrolling down, and the first person I see, you're never sleeping. Brian, just so you know, this does go on for 2 hours. I'm glad you like the stream. First person to say swan was Baronator. Baronator, go ahead. You're going to go ahead and get a point. All right, guys, we're going to do the fan favorite that everybody seems to love, which would be Blurt. And I did buy 4 or 5 more games to try out on the stream today. Well, I bought 4, came up with another one that I'm developing that hopefully add, if not tomorrow, the day after. Oh, Luke to Duke, you said you think you got it, but okay, who did I give it to? I gave it to Baronator. I did give Swan to Baronator. Give me 1 second, because sometimes I do make a mistake. Luke to Duke, it's possible that you... Oh, okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and... Oh, man, I thought I just messed up. All right, give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and show you this right now. so you guys see that we will always be using my screen as a tiebreaker. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to show you guys. Let me make sure that this is correctly showing. Perfect. Here is the chat. Gun was the round before this. We're gonna go down from gun at the start of this round. Oop. Hold on, what happened? We're gonna go down. The first person to say swan was Baronator. Luke, you said swan way down here. Remember, guys, we just go off of my chat to determine who got it first. All right, continuing on. We just like to be fair. I like to be as fair as possible. This firework is for the new set. So I'll get a little bit of a celebration. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Hey, Brian. All right. You'll be welcome back whenever anybody's allowed to play. We're going to go ahead and move on to Blurt. Blurt is when there's no need to be sorry. I don't mind confirming. Blurt is where I will give the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to give me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out. The first definition, a tool or machine with a thin metal blade that has sharp teeth on one edge for cutting hard material, such as wood or metal. Hey, Cyborg, the second definition, the rounded back part of the human foot under the ankle. Saw is correct. And heel is correct. All right, guys, let me see who on my screen said saw first. It looks like it was Traveling Patty. Welcome to the scoreboard, Traveling Patty. And I know you are already on the Hall of Fame. You were one of the very first people on the Hall of Fame. The stream's going to go not as enthusiastic or fast as the earlier ones, because I'm just a little tired, guys. I'm going to do my best to keep up with you guys and keep the points rolling and the games going. And who's the first person to say saw? Oh, that was right. That was Patty. My bad. Who's the first person to say heel? First person to say heel on my screen was Brawny. Where are you, Brawny? All right, we are going to carry on. You are only allowed one guess. Oh, we're going to read the other side. You are only allowed one guess per comment. We're going to play another round of blurt, where I will give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on this scoreboard. The first definition, fog mixed with smoke. The second definition, a line usually printed in large type at the top of a newspaper article. Steam is not correct. Smog is correct. Headline is correct. First person on my screen who said smog would be Brian. Oh, no, I am so sorry. It was Javier. I am very sorry about that. It was Javier. Sorry, guys. Sometimes with his name being blue, it can be a little bit difficult for me to see that. I'm just still adjusting to all of this. The first person on my screen to say headline was Traveling Patty. Another point for Traveling Patty. Weird. Headline autocorrected. And it's okay if you guys have a typo. You know, if you guys are close enough, you'll still get it. We're going to play another round of blurt. Where I will give you guys the definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on this scoreboard. Yes, I can. We're going to play blurt, where I will give you guys the definition for 2 words, and the first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. You want me to speak louder? I should probably just drink a little bit more caffeine. You're welcome. The first definition, a sore reddening of the skin from too much exposure to the sun. The second definition, a long, narrow trench dug in the ground. You're welcome. The sunburn is correct. Hole is not correct. Ditch is correct. All right, the first person on my screen to say sunburn was Luke DeDuke. 1 point for Luke DeDuke. And the first person on my screen to say ditch was Traveling Patty. All right, we're going to play another round of blurt. This is where I will read the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to correctly tell me the word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out. The first definition, a place where persons who are waiting for a trial or serving a prison sentence are locked up. The second definition, someone who is trained to prepare drugs and medicines. Actually, I almost feel like the first definition is wrong, but it is not a prison. It is jail. That's why I feel like the first definition is wrong. I'll guys have you know this game is a little old, and definitions in the dictionary do change. Armistice is correct. All right, the first person on my screen who said jail. Well, Brawny, you said hail, but I do accept typos, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. So I'm going to give the point to Brawny, because I do not want to punish for typos. One day, that's subject to change, but not in the middle of a stream. But I am okay with pharmacist, first person, Traveling Patty. I am okay with typos, because I am very lenient with that stuff. We're for fun. You hate your autocorrect. That is okay. Said jail afterwards, but thanks. You are welcome. It'd be an unfair punishment just for you to miss a couple letters. All right, guys. For the regulars, don't start yet. You know what I'm talking about. It is time for Battleship. I'm going to explain the rules, and when you guys hear the ding, 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 it is time to start giving me your guesses, but do not start yet. I want to make sure it is explained for the new people. All right, how Battleship works is I have a bunch of ships hidden, if you look below, on a 10 by 10 grid that looks similar to this. It is a 10 by 10 grid, and the columns are numbered 1 through 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The rows are lettered from top to bottom. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. You must give me a letter paired with a number. For example, you could say A1 or J10. You must guess where I hid my battleships. You are allowed as many guesses as you want, but only 1 guess per comment. Welcome back, Richard Green. You are only allowed 1 guess per comment. Please pair a letter with a number. Begin. You are allowed as many guesses as you would like. As many guesses as you would like. Welcome back, Richard Green. Brian, we'll catch you tomorrow. I will be on. You're allowed as many guesses as you would like, but only one guess per comment. And I will only read the first guess of each comment. Hey, Richard Green, that was great timing. Welcome back. Man, you got in right at the beginning of that, huh? All right, the time is up. I am only accepting the answers that are above when I said done. That are above when I said done. We're going to go ahead and start. I'm going to go ahead and start reading them off. If you are the first person to hit that part of the ship, you will get a point. If two people hit it, only the first person will get the point. Oh, right. I lost my pegs. Give me 1 second. Here we go. They are right here. All right. Reading off the first answer, we have A1. Hit. A1 is a hit. First point is awarded to Luke to Duke. Oh, man. I have to use a different colored marker. I gotta remember that. All right, continuing on. E5. Hit. You guys are doing great right off the bat. Oh my god, you guys are doing great right off the bat. Who said E5? That would be Barinator. 1.4. Barinator. E5. Oh, I just read that. A2. Hit. A2 is a hit. 1.4. Richard Green. Give me 1 second, guys. I have to add Richard Green to the scoreboard. Welcome, Richard Green, to the scoreboard. And Richard Green was on the chat the other day, so he is already in the Hall of Fame. Currently competing for the Hall of Champions, where one person does enter every single stream. Continuing on. A5, miss. A2, hit, but it was already a hit. E4, hit. E4 is a hit. That is another point for Barinator. That is another point for Barinator. A5, miss. B5, miss. B1, miss. A10, miss. A4, miss. C5, hit. C5 is a hit. That is 1.4. Javier. That is 1.4. Javier. B6, miss. B10, miss. B2, miss. D5, miss. C1, miss. E5 is a hit, but it was already a hit. C6, hit. C6 is a hit. That is another point for Barinator. J10, hit. J10 hit. That is a point for Brawny. That is a point for Brawny. Where are you, Brawny, on the scoreboard? You are right here. D2, miss. J10 hit, but it was already a hit. F5, miss. C2, miss. G5, miss. J3, hit. J3 is a hit. That is a point for Barinator. D4, miss. C3, miss. H6, miss. H7, miss. I5, miss. G2, miss. C1, miss. F7, miss. I10, hit. I10 is a hit. That is another point for Barinator. All right. J5. Hit. J5 is a hit. That is a point for Javier. Javier, where are you? There we go. Continuing on. A3. Hit and sink. Hit and sink. There are no extra points awarded for sinking. I just let you guys know. Luke to Duke. One other point for Luke to Duke. Continuing on, we only have a few left to read. G6. Hit. G6 is a hit. Who got that point? That'd be Brawny. G6 with the hit. Brawny, where are you on the scoreboard? Right there, my friend. All right, H10. H10 is a hit. H10 is a hit. 1 point is awarded to Baronator. Last guess is G1. That's a great last guess because that was a hit. That would be a point for Richard Green. One more point for Richard Green. All right, good job, guys. I unfortunately do need about 1 minute to clean up the scoreboard because this yellow marker was impossible to see in the red light. Many points were added. I did accidentally knock a ship off. I do think I remember where it was. To be fair, I'm just going to keep it off. I knocked it off. Nobody hit it. I'm just going to keep it off to be fair. I am sorry about that. Thankfully, it was only one of the small ships with 2 on it. We're just going to keep it off to be fair. There's still 28 points that can be earned. Well, minus the ones that were earned. All right, guys. Congratulations to everyone who got points. Congratulations to everyone. Cyborg, it's okay. It's okay. It's your first time. It's your first time. All right, guys. Give me a second. I actually need to switch out the marker because this is extremely hard for me to read this. So I'm going to redo the points because when I do the red light, it is very hard. And I will also read them off right now. Luke Christian, you have 5 points. Luke to Duke, you have 13 points. I'm going to read them off as I redo them. Might as well, since we're here. Brawny, you have 10 points. Baronator, you have 10 points. Brian Garber, you have 4 points. Javier, you have 4 points. Oh, where we do it? Emma, you have 1 point. Traveling Patty has 4 points, and Richard Green has 2 points. All right. It looks like since Luke Duke has the most points at 13, he's on his way to breeding the high score, but he's already in the Hall of Champions, as is Brawny. So currently in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions tonight is Baronator, followed by Luke. Baronator with 10, Luke Christian with 5, then Traveling Patty with 4, also with Brian Garber with 4. We're going to continue on. We're going to keep playing. Guys, we do take a 5-minute break. We will be taking a 5-minute break in about 7 minutes, but until then, we're going to keep playing. All right, guys, we're going to play another round of Blurt, which is a fan favorite. Blurt is where I give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out. The first definition: an animal that has black and white fur and a bushy tail and can spray a liquid that smells very unpleasant. The second definition: a white or brown plant shaped like a little umbrella. Skunk is correct. A white or brown plant shaped like a little umbrella. Mushroom is correct. All right, on my screen it says Baronator got skunk first. What marker am I using for the points? Blue. Baronator. And on my screen it says Javier got mushroom first. Continuing on. And Cyborg, don't feel bad. Sometimes it takes people a couple streams because of their internet issues or getting used to the game before they get on the scoreboard. But once you enter the Hall of Fame, you never leave. So we're going to continue on with another round of Blurt. This will be a little bit trickier. Every other round is either easy or hard. Blurt is where I give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out. The first definition: land that is covered with a thick growth of tropical trees and plants. The second definition: the title of the rulers of ancient Egypt. Jungle is correct. 1 point to Brawny Lee. Let me go ahead and add that. What do you guys think of the second one? The title of the rulers of ancient Egypt. Pharaoh is correct. On my screen, Javier did say Pharaoh first. Where are you, Javier? All right, we're going to play another round of Blurt. In the next couple days, new games will be added here. I am excited. Blurt is where I give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct definition for either word will get a point on. I'm sorry, the first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition: a game played by hitting a small, hard ball with one of a set of clubs around an outdoor course into a series of holes. The second definition: a strip of wood, metal, or other material with a straight edge marked off in units and used to measure and draw straight lines. Golf is correct. Cyborg says, yo, you got to go to bed. You have school tomorrow. See you later. Cyborg, see you later. I do try to stream every single day. Some nights. Some days I stream multiple times. Yesterday I did stream 4 times. Yesterday I streamed 4 times. So 4 people were added to the Hall of Champions. And ruler is correct. The first person on my screen who said golf was Baronator. Baronator, where are you on the scoreboard? You're right there. Is that the right marker? It is. Okay. And the first person on my screen to say ruler was also Baronator. I have destroyed my markers from all the times I've tallied a marker over 4 different colors. I'm going to have to go get more. I have like 30 or 40, and I have destroyed a lot of them with this game. It's kind of fun, but I'll correct that. I'm still experimenting with which markers to use because sometimes I have a lot of different lights and they're hard to read. I have to find one marker that'll actually work in every single light. We can absolutely do a balloon. We're going to play Guess That Balloon, where the first person to correctly guess what I am making will get a point on the scoreboard. First person to correctly guess what I am making will get a point on the scoreboard. It is not a sword. You may start guessing. Oh, messed that up. Start that over. Oh, my. That was a tricky one. Turtle is correct. That was a very fast one. You guys pay attention to how much I pump up a balloon, or how many times I pump the balloon, or how many balloons I grab. There is a hint there, because I try to make them the exact same every time, which I have to. Kind of. Turtle was the correct answer. Yeah, no problem, Cyborg. I will do this almost every day, though, so do not lose out on sleep. Your mental health is important. It is effective if you do not get good sleep. At least mine is. I don't know. Everybody's different. All right, first person on my screen who said turtle, it looks like Javier. Yes. 1 point for Javier. Where is Javier? Here we go. We're going to go ahead and play another round of Guess That Balloon because I have not done a lot this stream. Another round of Guess That Balloon. Let's go. Dude, that was a close one. All right, guys, it is done. First person to correctly guess. It's not a mouse, not a sword. It is a snake. Oh, sorry, wrong keyboard. Wrong keyboard. All right, guys, there is a seizure epilepsy warning coming up. Seizure epilepsy warning right now coming up. If anybody is prone to epilepsy or seizures, please leave for about 2 minutes. I just do want to give that warning out. The first person to say snake was Bronny on my screen. Seizure epilepsy warning. Where are you, Bronny? All right, guys, we're going to do one more. We're going to do one more Guess That Balloon, but this time we're going to do it a little tricky. We're going to do it a little tricky. Let me go ahead and put that in the chat. We're going to spice it up a little bit this time. It is still the same. The first person to correctly guess what I am making will get a point on this scoreboard, but we're doing it hard mode. We are doing it hard mode. This is hard mode. This is Guess That Balloon hard mode. It's not a dragonfly. Oh my God, Richard Green, it was going to be a B. It was going to be a B. That was fast. That was fast. It was going to be a B, and thankfully you got it because the balloon actually just tore on me. Oh wow, did I save it? Oh, there it goes. It's going. It was a B is correct. Richard Green, 1 point for Richard Green. All right, guys, we are currently... It is break time. We're going to go on a 5-minute break. Just so you guys know how break works, when you hear the sound of the gong, the 5-minute break has begun. When you hear the sound of the air horn, the 5-minute break is over. Also, if you see the 5-minute break sign on, I do have a sign for it. If you see the 5-minute break sign on, we are still on break. No points are awarded during this 5 minutes, and I do step away. We're going to go on a 5-minute break, and I also keep a timer on me, so that way I know exactly how long I am gone, and I can respect everybody's time. This is about the halfway. All right, coffee. This is about the halfway point of this show. This is probably the last show for the night because I am incredibly tired. Or the last game show. 5-minute break starts now. I will be back in 5 minutes. Please play Jeopardy music. I will maybe add it in the future. I have some other things. I have a lot of things that are going to slowly be rolled out onto the show as they are developed. This is a work in progress. Something different is going to be here almost every stream. I will be back. We've got about 4.5 minutes left. We have about 25 seconds left. We have about 25 seconds left. All right. Hey, where did I put my mouse? I will read the scores at the end of the break, which is right now. If any of these sound effects are too loud, please let me know. I can always turn the volume down after the stream. I do take suggestions into consideration because this is always going to be developing. I'm always trying to improve. This is the highest you've ever scored. You're doing good. All right, guys, I think I'm pretty. All right, yo, Default, welcome back. Default, welcome back. Default is an OG. He is the second person on the Hall of Fame. He was the second person to ever earn a point on here, which is awesome. Welcome back, Default. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and read the scores, and then we're going to continue. If you see right out here, Default is also in the Hall of Champions. Welcome back. The first person ever was a guy named Corbin, who I have never seen again, which is fine. Like I said, once you guys enter the Hall of Fame, you never leave. We have almost 100 people. All right, guys, these scores are Luke Christian with 5 points. Luke the Duke with 13 points. But he's already in the Hall of Fame, so he's just competing for the highest score. Brawny, who's also in the Hall of Fame, with 12. Baronator with 13 points, currently in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions. My bad, not the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Champions. We have the Hall of Fame, we have the Hall of Champions, and the Hall of Supporters. We have Brian Garber with 4, Javier with 7, Emma with 1, Traveling Patty with 4, and Richard Green with 3. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and kick off. We're going to go ahead and kick off the second half of the stream with just a couple. Who's in the Hall of Supporters? Currently, there's nobody in the Hall of Supporters because I don't really care too much about pushing that. I'd rather have fun, and I'd rather everybody else have fun. Eventually, I'll be monetized on YouTube and make money, so I'm not really going to be pushing that. But the Hall of Supporter is, I'm sure eventually I'll be adding names. That's anybody who donates to the channel, either when I get Super Chats or through my Cash App and PayPal. There's currently no one on there, and I don't really care about pushing it. If somebody wants it, the information, I'll give it out. But that's not really my priority, to be honest. I just want to be here. I want to have fun. Chase your passions, and the money will chase you. That is a quote I learned. Games are my passion. Fun. Who doesn't like to have fun? I like to make sure everybody else is having fun, too. And I'm not going to sit here and spam you guys like some other things. So, first person to correctly guess what I have made. It is a swan. It is a swan. Bronny, you asked what a hawk or hoss is. I don't know what that is. Who's the first person to say swan on my screen? That'll be Default. Let me go ahead and add Default to the to the scoreboard. Welcome to the scoreboard, Default. Let me go ahead and give you your point. I have to remember to use a different colored marker because it can be hard to see. Where is my point marker? Right there. All right, continuing on. We're going to do one more balloon, and then we're going to play a round of blurt. Your volume is full. All right, guys, another round of Guess That Balloon. It's a fun one to make that I have not made in a while. That one. Hawk is Hall of Champs. Yes, they have a Hall of Champions is displayed right here, and the Hall of Fame is here. I would like to display it one day, but it might be too big to display one day. It is not a monkey. I haven't made a monkey in a while, but it is not a monkey. It is not a monkey. That's not how I'm supposed to set that balloon. Not a turtle, not a dog, not a bee, not a mouse. Ah, it is a dinosaur. It is a dinosaur. This is why I have to learn new ones all the time. Because you guys get it so fast. I'm going to actually go ahead and not finish it just so we can move on. But how the dinosaur would look is I would double this up, put some scales right here in the form of bubbles, and do a tail. We're going to go ahead and move on so we can keep going. Can I make a giant egg? To make a giant egg, I would need the round balloons, and I do not have them right now. But I will add that. I will get some more balloons. I did recently order 800 more balloons. I think I have about 1,000 over. I think I have 1,000 balloons right now. Who was the first person to say it? Dinosaur. It'd be Richard Green, 1.4. Richard Green. All right, guys, we're going to move on to Blurt, a fan favorite. Move on to Blurt, a fan favorite. It is a lot of balloons. All right, Blurt, this is where I give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words. And the first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, and up to 2 points can be handed out. The first definition, to argue in trying to agree on something, such as a price. The second definition, a very light shade of brown. The first Haggle is correct. 1 point for Baronator. It is not tan, but tan is close. I do believe tan is often mistaken or confused with this word. Beige is correct. Beige is correct. Gonna make sure I gave the points out correctly. 1 point for Javier. Where are you, Javier? Where are you? I know you made it. There you go. It's gonna be confusing sometimes. I do so many streams in one day sometimes that sometimes I'll be giving them points up here and then down there, and it's okay. It's fun. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and play another round of Blurt. And I did, for the returning people, I did buy a few more games. I plan on adding a few more games to the stream this week. Possibly tomorrow. If not tomorrow, for sure the day after. All right, we're going to move on to, is sunburnt just a red color? I'm not really sure. I used to have a car that was sunburnt orange, but I really don't know. We're going to move on to another round of Blurt, where I will give you the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to correctly tell me the word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, a bath in which water is sprayed down on a person. The second definition, a container made of paper, cloth, plastic, or leather. Shower is correct. I don't necessarily have a, and bag is correct. Let me go ahead and give the points out. First person on my screen who said shower was Brawny. And bag was correct. First person on my screen who said bag was Luke Duke. Luke Duke, where are you? I don't necessarily have a favorite color. I more so like favorite combinations. I really like black and green, and black and pink even looks cool too. I think those 2 color combinations look pretty cool together. I see them on cars all the time, and it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. We're going to go on to another round of Blurt. This is where I give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to give me the correct word for either definition will earn a point on the scoreboard. I will write that down, Brawny. The game called Say Less. The first definition, someone who is at another person's home for a visit or a meal. The second definition, heavy leather coverings worn over pants by cowboys to protect their legs. Guessed is correct. Second definition repeated, heavy leather coverings worn over pants by cowboys to protect their legs. Chaps is correct. First person to say guessed on my screen was Brawny. And the first person to say chaps on my screen was Javier. If you guys can give me just one quick second, I'm going to write down that suggestion real quick. I will come back and I will read the scores. So the game is called Say Less. Game looks like it's called Say Less. Try the game called Say Less. Give me 1 second. I have another whiteboard right here. I'm just going to write it down. I'm going to look into it. If not today, then tomorrow. I do like to write down suggestions, and I do remember a lot of the suggestions. That one was very specific, though, so I definitely want to make sure I word for word have that one correct. And continuing back onto the game, although you guys did ask for the scores. Luke Christian with 5 points, Luke DeDuke with 14, Brawny with 14, Baronator with 14, Brian 4, Javier 9, Emma 1, Traveling Patty 4, Richard Green 4, Default 1. Currently in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions would be Baronator at 14 points. Followed by Luke Christian with 5 and Richard Green tied with Brian Garber and tied with Traveling Patty with 4 because Brawny and Luke DeDuke are already in. Oh, Javier also has 9. Those 3 are already in the Hall of Champions. We're going to go ahead and continue. Yes, we did earlier have somebody say sometimes going to a PC or a laptop can help with connection. We're going to play another round of Blurt, where I will give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to correctly tell me the word for either definition. We'll get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, to touch and press with the lips as a sign of love, friendship, or greeting. The second definition, a knot tied in loops. Kiss is correct. 1 point for Brawny. Oh, did I use the right marker? I did, good. And the second definition, a knot tied in loops. Nope, it is not hoop. Second definition, a knot tied in loops. Yeah, Default, that does happen sometimes. Sometimes there's people just don't have the best connection. Bo is correct. 1 point, I think, for Richard Green. I'm just going to double check, make sure that you were the first person to say it. You are. Richard Green, good job. All right, guys, we still have about 40 minutes left in the chat. Anybody can take over the lead. We're going to do one more round of Blurt, where I will give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words. And the first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, someone who travels to a religious shrine or other sacred place. The second definition, a structure produced by a flowering plant that can grow into a new plant of the same kind as its parent. A structure produced by a flowering plant that can grow into a new plant of the same kind as its parent. The first definition repeated was someone who travels to a religious shrine or other sacred place. I did not know that that was the definition. I don't know how many people are going to get this right. Seed is correct for the second one. I will repeat the first one while I see who said seed first. Someone who travels to a religious shrine or other sacred place. I did not know this was the definition. Actually, in fact, this might not even be right, to be honest. 1.2, Richard Green. 1.2, Richard Green. I'm going to actually check it. I'm going to have to fact check this one because sometimes mistakes are made in the production of games. So give me 1 second. I'm going to see if anybody got it right. Oh, pilgrim is correct. Is that the definition of pilgrim? Sorry, guys. I'm just... Oh, why is my screen zoomed into 500? I don't know, man, but that's what it says, so I'm just giving you the point. That's not what I thought a pilgrim was, but... Alright, first person to say pilgrim on my screen. Oops, technical difficulties. Give me 1 second. First person on my screen who said pilgrim would be Javier. Good job, Javier. There's 1 point for you. That's cool. I love that I get to play. I get to host these games and learn. We're gonna do one more blurt, and then we're going to switch it up. Oh, we just pulled a muscle. That is not good. Blurt is where I give you the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to give me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The 2 points can be handed out. The first definition, a braid of hair that hangs from the back of the head. The second definition, a frame covered with wire mesh that is used in windows and doors to keep out insects. Ponytail is not correct. Pigtail is correct. A frame covered with wire mesh that is used in windows and doors to keep out insects. Screen is correct. The first person on my screen who said pigtail would be Luke to Duke. The first person who said screen on mine would be Javier. All right, guys, we are going to switch it up slightly. That's funny. All right, guys, we are going to switch up the game slightly. Make sure I have everything. What we're going to do is we are going to play Battleship. Do not start your guesses yet. We have to be a little bit more fair now that we are picking up a lot of new players. We're going to have to be a little bit fair. Do not start your guesses until you hear the ding, ding, ding. Yes, absolutely. I hope most people are here to have fun. You can compete if you want, or you can have fun. Both are valid. Now, guys, this is how Battleship works. I have a bunch of ships hidden on a 10 by 10 grid that looks like this. The columns are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The rows are lettered from the top to bottom, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. You must pair a letter with a number, guessing where I hid my ships. For example, you could say A1 or J10. The first person to hit that part of the ship will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 30 points can be handed out during Battleship. Go ahead and begin. You are allowed as many guesses as you want. Only 1 guess per comment. Only 1 guess per comment, but you are allowed as many guesses as you want. All right, time is up. I do have to give a different amount of time for this game every time we play. It just depends on the amount of players that we have playing. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and read off the answers. First person to hit that part of the ship will get the point. I think only half the points have been taken so far since this is the second round. Go ahead and go up and see what we have. Sorry here, guys. Broken bones do suck. I've broken quite a lot in my life. E5 is a hit, but it was already a hit. B10, miss. A3 hit, but it was already a hit. C2, miss. E10, miss. B3, miss. C10, miss. B10, miss. C3, miss. D10, miss. A10, miss. D3, miss. E10, miss. E3, oh, E3 was a hit. My apologies. Go ahead and get this little peg. All right, E3 was a hit. All right, guys, there's 2 people who said E3 really close to each other. Oh, no. On my screen, Javier was the first person to say E3. Give me 1 second. I do have to make sure that I have the correct marker. The point will go to Javier. Like I said, the first person to say it. Continuing on, E3 hit, but it was already a hit. D4, miss. F10, hit. F10 was a hit. That point goes to Luke to Duke. There we go. Continuing on, we have F3, miss. D3, miss. G10. Hit and sunk. There are no extra points awarded for sinking a ship. I just let you guys know. That point goes to Luke to Duke again. Luke to Duke right here. G3. Hit. G3 is a hit. That point goes to Javier. Oh, did I lose my spot? Nope. There we go. B6. Miss. C4. Hit. C4 is a hit. That point is awarded to Default. Continuing on. Oh, where are we? Okay, there we are. E6. Miss. G7. Hit and sink. Ooh, where did my pegs go? Here we go. Hidden in this one. Alright, that was G7 was a hit and it was a sink. Who said that? That would be Brawny. 1 point for Brawny. Where are you on the scoreboard? Here we go. Continuing on. H3. Hit. H3 is a hit. It's another point for Javier. H10. Hit, but it was already a hit. I3. Hit and sink. That is another point for Javier. All right. H2. Miss. F10. Hit, but it was already a hit. J3. Hit, but it was already a hit. J3 again. Hit, but it was already a hit. I10. Hit, but it was already a hit. C3. Miss. H5. Miss. C4, hit, but it was already a hit. A8, miss. J10, hit, but it was already a hit. All right. We're going to continue on. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and read the score. Good job. That was... That was good, guys. That was good. All right, guys, we're going to continue on. We have roughly half an hour left of gameplay. Did your C6 and C7 make it? No. I stop reading when I say done in the chat, just to be fair. That is the official spot where I stop reading. We might do one more round of Battleship. There is not many points left, so we will have to play it. We will have to see. All right, continuing on, we're going to do Guess That Balloon, where the first person to correctly guess. Luke Dukes, you said this is going to be a trend. Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen any other streamers do this. I think after I start doing it, why is everybody so old? People are all ages. I think after I start doing it, there'll probably be other people who also will start doing it. They might do it better than me. Doesn't matter, because as long as people are having fun, that's awesome. But I hope I do get to do this for a very long time. I hope. It's unique and special. Thank you. Aha! Sword was correct. Sword was correct. I was going to do the fancy sword, but... Ronnie Lee, shorten the time of the next battleship to reduce the number of guesses. All right, sword was correct. The first person who said sword. Yes, I'm still trial and error. That's a good idea. When there are a lot of people playing, I do reduce the time a little bit. I have to play it by ear, and I'm doing a little bit of testing. But like that time was shorter than the first round. First person on my screen who said sword, thank you for the suggestion, was Luke the Duke. Guys, where do I keep putting the marker? Here we go, right here. Congratulations. All right. Probably one of the only few people that you watch anymore. Oh, that's awesome. I'm really glad that you guys are liking this. I'm really enjoying this. I really, really do. And so I'm glad you guys are liking this as well. We're going to play another round of Blurt. This is where I give you guys the definition for 2 words, and the first person to tell me the correct word. I'll answer in a second, Luka Duke. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, a small stream. The second definition, a garment like a blanket with a hole in the center for the head. Creek is correct. Hey, no problem, default. Poncho is correct. 1 point to Luka Duke for Creek, and 1 point to Brawny for Poncho. Luka Duke and Brawny. And to answer your question of why do I stretch the balloons, Luka Duke, if you do not, you have to stretch them to soften them out. And oftentimes, if you see another balloon artist, professionally I do this, but on the stream I don't do this. After I blow up the balloon when I'm doing it professionally, I also will squeeze the entire balloon because you soften it up so it's less likely to pop. So, and if you don't stretch it, it's too thick, and sometimes you blow it up and it pops. And also, if you blow it up too fast, especially without stretching it, it will pop. So that is why I stretch it. And I also have not the most expensive or highest quality balloons on the market, so these ones are popping more than they normally would. If I were doing this professionally, I would be getting Qualitex balloons, which are considered the industry standard for the best. So if you guys are ever considering doing this professionally, get the best balloons, because if you pop too many times, say if you're in a restaurant, it can affect your tips and your pay, and so it's not good. I did do it professionally, so if anybody has would like advice or to be pointed in the right direction on how to learn and maybe get into it, you can email me at mindfuldiscovery@yahoo.com, and I help you out. I do like to help. We're going to... I cannot yet solve a Rubik's Cube. We're going to play another round of Blurt. I think I did this whole card. I did. All right, guys. Yeah, it's all about having fun. 51 seconds is pretty good. We're going to play another round of Blurt where I will give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out. That's pretty fast, default. 11 seconds is pretty fast and impressive. The first definition, an opening in the crust of the earth that emits lava, dust, ash, and hot glass. The second definition, the 12th and last month of the year. Volcano is correct. December is correct. First person on my screen who said volcano would be Luke Duke. The first person on my screen who said December would be Richard Green. Baronator, you better be careful. Richard Green is gaining on you for entering the Hall of Champions. And I still think we have roughly 25 minutes left of gameplay. We're going to continue on. We're going to play another round of Blurt. Yes, typos are okay. Typos are okay. We're going to play another round of Blurt where I will give you guys the dictionary definition of 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, a piece of furniture that has drawers and often a mirror above it. The second definition, a design made up of initials of someone's name. I think Baronator left. I haven't seen Baronator comment in a while, so if you guys can surpass him, you have it. I think they're talking about Baronator. Dresser is correct. I will reread the second one. A design made up of initials of someone's name. Oh, Baronator's back. Baronator, they sounded excited that you were gone so somebody could try to overtake your position, which I'll have you guys know, if somebody is in the lead and they leave, if they're not here at the end of the show when I announce the Hall of Champions, they still enter because I want to be fair. Monogram is correct. So even if somebody leaves and they are in the number 1, they still enter. I am all about being fair. So the first person to say dresser on my screen was Brawny. Brawny, where are you? Right here. And the first person on my screen to say monogram was also Brawny. I'm going to double check that because my chat slipped for a second. Yes, it was Brawny. Good. Just double checking. Like to be fair. Continuing on. Oops, I've been putting those in the wrong little box. Stop making that mistake. Did I already read all these? I did. Just making sure. We are going to continue on with Blurt. Another round of Blurt. The first person to correctly guess the word to either of these definitions gets a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, a device for catching animals. The second definition, a unit of measurement for liquids that is equal to 4 quarts or 3.785 liters. It is not a rod. It is not a net. Ronnie said, this is the most fun I've had on YouTube. Thank you very much. Ooh, cracking the bones. I want to crack the bones in the back. That's a good idea. Ronnie, I'm glad you guys are having fun. I don't see the answers. Oh, trap. There we go. And it is not a half gallon. It was a gallon. The first definition was a device for catching animals. The second definition was a unit of measurement for liquids that is equal to 4 quarts or 3.785 liters. The first person on my screen who said gallon was Javier. Where are you, Javier? And the first person who said trap was Default. Continuing on to another round of blurt. Luke Duke, you said trap. Let me see. Did you say trap way before I realized? You see, rod, net, gallon. Gallon was said first by Javier. Gallon. Oint, fishing rod. Wait a minute. No, that does not count. Quart, gallon, trap. The first person on my screen who said trap was Default. I do not even see that you said trap, Luke to do. We're going to continue on with blurt, where I will give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to correctly give me the word for either definition will get a point on the screen, or on the scoreboard. The first definition, a container for carrying drinking water or other liquids. That's okay, guys. We will move on. Sometimes internet can be weird. The second definition, an arc of colors that is seen in the sky opposite the sun, caused by sunlight shining through small drops of water. Canteen is correct. Rainbow is correct. First person who said canteen was Javier. First person to say rainbow was Baronator. Javier. 1 point. Baronator. 1 point. Guys, I can always pull up my screen. If you guys request it, I can pull up my screen. It does take a couple minutes away from the show, but I will still do it. And we're going to carry it. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think I read I did read the back. Just making sure. All right, we're going to move on to another round of blurt, where I will give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct definition for, or the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, a game played on ice or a field by 2 teams who try to hit a puck or ball into the other team's goal. The second definition, the nut of an oak tree. Hockey is correct. 1 point for Richard Green. Acorn is correct. 1 point for Javier. You did have a typo, but I do accept typos. Moving on to another round of blurt. Moving on to another round of blurt. This is where I give you the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word will get a point on the scoreboard. Correct word for either definition. Up to 2 points can be handed out. Everybody cracking their knuckles. The first definition, a hole dug in the earth to take out minerals. The second definition, a jointed device on which a door, gate, or cover turns or swings back and forth. Crack mine. Actually, this is a good reminder for me. Hey, Son Goku. Welcome back. Mine is correct. And hinge is correct. Son Goku, welcome back to the game. First person to say mine was Luke to Duke. And the first person to say hinge on my screen was Baronator. Continuing on. All right, we're going to play another round of blurt, where I will give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words. And the first person to correctly tell me the word for Either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, a small horse. The second definition, a farm building used for storing grain and hay and for sheltering livestock. Pony is correct. Barn is correct. The first person on my screen who said pony was Richard Green. The first person on my screen who said barn was Bronny. Where are you, Bronny? There we go. Continuing on with another round of blurt. The first definition, damage to tissue of the body caused by freezing. The second definition, someone who leaves a country or region to settle in another. Actually, I've never seen this word. That's interesting. Oh. Is that spelled right? Frostbite is correct. Immigrant is correct. I thought it was spelled immigrant. It's spelling it with an E here. Oh, technical difficulties. Very sorry. I hit the wrong keyboard again. I thought that was immigrant. Oh, an emigrant. It was actually an emigrant is somebody who leaves their country of residence to live permanently in another country, while an immigrant is someone who enters a new country. So when you're leaving your country, you're an emigrant. When you're entering the next country, you're an immigrant. That's interesting. Oh, I'm still going to give it out. Yes, migration is also when you're traveling from one spot to another. What do I use that button for? I guess you'll have to stick around and see. The first person on my screen who said frostbite. A dwarf horse. Dwarfism is a very, very small horse. It is a genetic, I don't know what the right word is, but it is a, it's not normal. It is a issue during the pregnancy. So frostbite will go to Bronny. The deformity in a sense. It's kind of like dwarfism in people. It's the same thing. It can happen in horses. I don't know the correct word for what it's called. And the first person to say, I'm going to give it to immigrant just because I already said it was immigrant, even though it's immigrant. I think that was to Barinator. All right, we're going to continue on to another round of blurt. We're going to continue on to another round of blurt with about 15 minutes of gameplay left. All right, blurt is where I give you guys the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, a group of connected railroad cars. A group of connected railroad cars pulled by a locomotive or powered by electricity. Second definition, the season of the year between winter and summer. Train is correct. The season of the year between winter and summer. You guys are telling me the season of the year between summer and winter. Spring is correct. I think, isn't a locomotive the front part of the train? Give me a second. Oh, I missed the wrong one. I think locomotive is the actual engine part. A powered rail vehicle used for pulling trains. Yeah, I think a locomotive is the front part of the train. I could be wrong, but I think it's the front part of the train that's actually pulling all the carts and stuff. All right, the first person on my screen who said, I just Googled it, but who said train would be Barinator. Where are you, Barinator? Right there on the scoreboard. The first person on my screen who said spring be Barinator again. Oops, gotta make that big enough. All right, we're gonna play another round of blurt where I will give you guys. I do not know what the rest are known as. They might be. There's also different types of train cars and train carts. There's passenger, and then there's like stuff for supporting. But there's different types of train cars that are like for supporting different types of, like there's tanker train cars that are kind of like there's tanker trucks and stuff. Anyway, I do not know what they're all called, but they I think they have slightly different names depending on what they are carrying and how they're shaped. We're going to continue on to another round of blurt. This is where I give you the dictionary definition for 2 words, and the first person to correctly tell me the word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard up to 2 points can be handed out. The first definition, a vibration that moves through the air and is heard by the ear. The second definition, someone who keeps or inspects the money records of a business or a person. Sound is correct. Counting is correct. Yes, we can do balloons. We will do a few balloons. All right, who got sound first on my screen would be Baronator, and who got accountant? Baronator again. Baronator. All right, as per requested, we will play Guess That Balloon. Ooh, all right, tricky one. First person, correctly guess what I'm making. Can I speak up when saying the definition? Yes, I apologize. It is very late, and you got a counting on yours first. Let me go back and see. Who did I give it to? I gave it to Baronator. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to pop out the chat and show you. I'm going to pop out the chat and show you, just so you guys can see that this is why we go off of my screen, because we need some way to dictate ties. And the best way is to just go off of one screen. And since I'm the host, I'm getting all the messages first at the correct time they are sent, and make sure that is correct. Here it is. Baronator said accountant right here, and then Richard Green said accountant. And if we look up, that was the start of the round. Baronator, and then Richard Green. I'm just going to show you guys to confirm. You guys may ask for that any time, just so you know. All right, we're going to continue on to Guess That Balloon. Did I do that right? Close enough. And for whoever asked earlier, it was either Luke or Luke the Duke, I think it was them, why I stretch the balloons. In a professional setting, I would typically do that at least once to soften it out, but it also stretches it, so I probably shouldn't have done it for this one, because this is a very precise number of pumps that I need to do for this one. Oh, man. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. I forgot to make that one. We're going to do a different one. I am very sorry. I forgot how to make that one last second. I only made it a couple times. We're going to do a different one. Very sorry about that. I'm going to have to look up that video again after and make it again. I do try to learn a few new balloons every day. However, I've been very busy with the setup and improving the stream. But I still try to learn new balloons for you guys to keep giving you people a chance. I've been learning some new ones before the stream. Alright guys, first person to correctly guess what I'm making will earn a point on the scoreboard. Let me draw the face. Oh, that face is horrible. It is a B. B is correct. B is correct. First person on my screen to say B would be Richard Green. Where are you, Richard? Oh, Richard, you're coming in. You're coming in hot. We're going to go ahead and do a couple more balloons. And then we're going to go back to blurt. We are not going to do Battleship anymore because there was only a few points left and there's not too much time left in the stream. About 8 or 9 minutes or so. First person to correctly guess what I am making will get a point on the scoreboard. First person to correctly guess what I have made will get a point on the scoreboard. It is a gun. Congratulations, it is a gun. Type in gun. And on my screen, I'm going to scroll all the way back up from when I said B and start scrolling down. Luke to Duke got it first. I'm going to real quick see if Bronny was actually the first person who said B. Oh, Bronny, it might look like you did, but Richard Green said it like way before when I started, like right after I even started making it, he got it. Can I make a sound wave? I will write it down, but I assume I'm just going to take the balloon and, oh, you know what? I'll write it down. All right, guys, we're going to move on to blurt. We have only a few minutes left in game show. We have about 7 minutes left. I'm going to read the scores real quick, and then we're going to do some rapid rounds of blurt. Luke Christian is at 5 points. Luke Duke is at 22. Bronny is at 21. Baronator, 5, 10, 15, 21. Brian 4. Javier, 18. Emma 1. Traveling Patty 4. Richard Green, 10. Default 3. Currently, Baronator's in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions with 21 points, followed by Richard Green with 10. All right, we're going to make the last few minutes exciting by doing a few rounds of blurt. Let's see what happens. Luke Duke, you are in first. However, you are already in the Hall of Champions, and I add somebody every single stream. So if you're already in the Hall of Champions, you do not enter again. The person with the most amount of points on the scoreboard, who is not already in the Hall of Champions, enters the Hall of Champions. You are competing for the high score. All right, we're going to play another round of blurt where I will give you guys the dictionary definition of 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition gets a point on the scoreboard. The first word: a dome-shaped Eskimo house often made from blocks of hard snow. The second definition: a chart showing each month, week, and day of the year. I need to turn this up so I can see it. Igloo is correct. First person on my screen said Richard Green. Son Goku is okay. Stick around. You will get better. And sometimes it is just your internet. Calendar is correct. First person was also Richard Green. Uh-oh. Catching up. We're going to play another round of blurt where I will give you guys the dictionary definition of 2 words, and the first person to correctly tell me the word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition: a small piece of paper with glue on the back used to fasten or mark something. The second definition: a small restaurant often resembling a railroad car. Wow, this is an old definition. Or is it? Sticker is correct. Default, what do you mean when you say make the little dot by the people that are watching gray, then you'll be on the actual live? And then diner is correct. First person to say sticker. Baronator, first person to say diner. Bronny. 1 point for Bronny. 1 point for Baronator. The second definition was a small restaurant often resembling a railroad car, which was diner. You just tried it and you won't have any delay. We're going to play another round of blurt where I will tell you guys the dictionary definition of 2 words, and the first person to tell me the correct definition of either, or the correct word to either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition: an animal that lays eggs and has feathers and wings. The second definition: an animal covered with long, sharp quills. The first definition repeated: an animal that lays eggs and has feathers and wings. It is not chicken. Porcupine is correct for the second one. First person on my to say porcupine was Javier. This first one's going to be, oh, it was bird. Bird is the correct answer. Another point for Javier. Where are you, Javier? Playing another round of blurt, where I will read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition: to spend the winter in a state resembling deep sleep, as some bears do. The second definition: a drawing or picture of the outline of something filled in with a dark color. Hibernating is correct. I will repeat it. A drawing or picture of the outline of something filled in with a dark color. A drawing or picture of the outline of something filled in with a dark color. I'll give you a hint. Think of like a shadow. 1 point to Baronator for, it is not an outline. 1 point to Baronator for, oh wait. Who did say Hibernator first? 1 point to Baronator for Hibernator. Hibernate, guys, I'm getting so tired. This is definitely going to be the last stream for tonight. This is my 3rd one. Silhouette is correct. Silhouette is correct. 1 point to Bronny. All right, congratulations. We are going to go ahead and see. I think we might be out of time, guys. I think we are right there. We're going to go ahead and, yep, we have about another minute left. We're going to go ahead and read one more. We're going to do one more. We're going to make it a challenging one. I'm going to read the definition for 2 words. The first definition: a barrier that must be jumped over in a race. The second definition: to mix and work a substance by folding, pressing, or stretching with the hands. Ooh, that one might be a little bit tricky. Hurdle is correct. To mix and work a substance by folding, pressing, or stretching with the hands. It is not origami. 1 point to the first person who said hurdle, which would be Javier. Need is correct. 1 point for Richard Green. All right, guys, that is the end of when I will. We are at an hour and 55 minutes in, which means this is the end of the game, so the stream will end in about 5 minutes. I'm going to announce everything. The points are Luke Christian with 5, Luke DeDuke with 5, 10, 50, 20, 22, Bronny 23, Baronator 23, Brian 4, Javier 21, Emma 1, Traveling Patty 4, Richard Green 13, Default 3. We have quite a few people entering the Hall of Fame, and Luke DeDuke and Baronator tied for having the most points this stream. Luke DeDuke had 23, but he is already in the Hall of Champions. Which means Baronator with 23 points is the new Hall of Champions champion. Congratulations, Baronator. You are going to be entered into the Hall of Champions. Congratulations. Okay. All right, guys, I will be updating the Hall of Fame and the Hall of Champions after this stream. This is the last stream for tonight because I am tired. We did about 3 streams today. I think we did 4 yesterday. We did quite a lot, quite a lot. Barinator, congratulations, you entered. Bronny, you had 23. Oh, I am so sorry. I misspoke. Bronny and Bronny and Barinator both tied for 23. Luke Duke, you had 22. Bronny and Barinator tied for 23 points. Bronny, I do believe you were just recently entered in the Hall of Fame last stream, or the Hall of Champions. But it is still good. Yes, you were, Bronny. That's what I thought. Yes, my apologies. Let me see. Let me think about that, Richard. I think, Richard, tomorrow I'm probably going to... Yes, I thought you did, Bronny. I thought you did. I thought you were the winner last stream. We just did it. You know, you did great, guys. I think that wasn't even at your first stream, too. That was really impressive. That was cool. Richard, I think I'm going to do 5 p.m. tomorrow Central Time, and I might do another one at 8 p.m. I'm not sure. It's Tuesday. We'll see. But I think 5 p.m. I might do it at 4 p.m., but I'm thinking 5 p.m. Actually, I think I'm going to do 5 p.m. Central Time and then 8 p.m. I might do 8 p.m. again if I'm doing a second stream tomorrow. First one will be at 5 p.m., though. Tomorrow Central Time. I am outside of, I'm inside of Chicago. Cool. You're welcome. Luke Duke and Bronny are already on the Hall of Champions, as is Javier. And Default is as well. So, Barinator, I will be adding you to the Hall of Champions after this. And I think a couple people, actually, I don't know if anybody is entering. I don't think anybody is entering the Hall of Fame tonight. Luke has been here. Luke Duke has been here. Bronny's been here. Barinator just recently entered the Hall of Fame. Oh, Brian. I'm so sorry. Brian Garber, I do believe you will be entering the Hall of Fame. At least one. I always do confirm and check, though. I guess this is the part of the stream where I pop all the balloons because I have to do it anyway. So I just pop them on stream. 5 p.m. tomorrow. I will hop back on. Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations. I will be adding at least one more game in the next couple days, possibly a couple more. I have to sift through them and see if they will work on stream. And if some don't work, we won't do them again. I want to add new games every single one. Yes, Bronny, you entered last stream. Barinator entered this stream. Barinator entered the Hall of Champions this stream. And Brian Garber entered the Hall of Fame for getting his first point on the show. It's a good game, guys. That was fun. I'm very tired. It's pretty late. It's at 1:41 in the morning. Good job, guys. Congratulations, Barinator. You made it. Oh, sorry. Technical difficulties. Wrong keyboard again. By the way, everybody who's still here, I don't expect it to be many, but everybody who's still here, We currently have 90 people in the Hall of Fame. So all of you guys who have already earned a point so far in the show, congratulations for being the first 100 people in the Hall of Fame. I do hope one day we have thousands and thousands of people in this Hall of Fame. So I want to congratulate all of you guys for getting a really cool number, because you guys are all numbered. And all of you guys who have gotten at least 1 point are in the top 100. It means you're in the first 100 people to ever earn a point on this show. And I will hopefully be doing this for a long time. And so I think you guys have a cool number. I think it's cool to be in the first 100. It shows the OGs. It was an honor to see Default Time, who's number 2. Currently have 90 people. 90 people in the Hall of Fame, and 16 people in the Hall of Champions. All right, guys, that is going to conclude today's stream. You guys have a great night. So does everyone points get added to the last time they played? No, I actually completely erased the scoreboard between streams. A couple things I do between streams is I completely erase the scoreboard, and I also completely reset the Battleship board. And somebody did request I start showing the Battleship board at the end. So I do reset the Battleship board. It does stay the same between 1 2-hour stream, but then after the 2-hour stream, I do completely reset it. They're still talking, so I'm going to go ahead and just reset it while I'm here. I actually do not keep track of the scores in the Hall of Fame. I do not keep track of the scores in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame just recognizes you for winning. The Hall of Fame just recognizes you for winning the stream, or at least one of the game nights. I do have all of the scores ever. I do take a picture of the scoreboard before I erase it, and I do have all of the scores. I do stream. I have to be careful with how much information I'm keeping track of, because, for example, yesterday I streamed 4 2-hour sessions, and it was 8 hours of streaming, and I only give myself an hour between, and there's a lot of things I have to do in that hour, like update the Hall of Champions, update the Hall of Fame, reset the scoreboard, clean up, make sure I have the next game set up, and I also is my break time to make sure I've eaten, use the bathroom, and do all that kind of stuff. So I do have to be careful with how much I commit to keeping track of, because I'm also in between streams and in between days of streaming. I am also finding more games to play, developing games, improving the stream, improving the experience of the players. So I cannot commit that I will add the scores, but I am keeping track of all of them in case one day I do want to add that. Just I'm trying to be careful right now and not go overboard with all of the information that I am displaying. But I am keeping track of it in case I change my mind one day. I will have you guys know. Should try Guess Who. I will go ahead and write it down. I will look into it, write it down, and see if it is playable on stream. Thank you for the suggestion, Richard. I'll go ahead and write that down right now. I don't know if I've actually played that game in a very long time, but I will look into it. Last one was 15. This one was 23, so I did great. Yeah, dude, Ronnie, you did do really good. You did do really good. Guess Who is a good idea. Guess Who is a good idea. I will look into it. I do write down your guys' suggestions, because this is your guys' game as much as it is mine. I can't do it without you guys. It is very fun to meet people all around the world, and just, guys, we're playing games with people all around the world. Isn't it cool? It's cool. I like it a lot. You can do a variation with like superheroes, cartoons, or something. Yes. Guess Who was a good suggestion. I agree. catchphrase. Did I get catchphrase? Yeah, no problem, Richard. Thank you for playing. Thank you for playing, Richard. I did buy a lot of games that I haven't yet introduced. I think I might have bought that one today, actually, when I was at the thrift store. I might have bought it. I'm going to write it down. Did I buy it? I don't know. I will check, and I will write it down and look into it. All right, guys, we're going to end it there. We're going to go ahead and end it there. Thank you guys for playing. Thank you guys for the suggestions. Those were good suggestions. I think I might now start staying for a few more minutes at the end of the stream to take on suggestions for how we can improve. Because you guys are giving me great suggestions, and I really appreciate that. So the game is still going to end at an hour and 55 minutes into the stream, and then with the 5-minute break. So it's really the game goes for about right under an hour 50 minutes, and I'm trying to keep that time slot the same so that way it's a fair competition with time at least, because there's always about a minute. I don't really start doing the balloons until about a minute or two into the stream just to make sure everything's set up, let a couple of people come in, although that might change because now today I got on, there were 6 people waiting for the stream to start, so I started almost immediately. But at 1 hour and 55 minutes into the stream is the last time a point can be given. A little bit of lenience, a couple seconds lenience. All right, guys. Have a great night. Thank you. I will be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central Time.